I grew up outside of Birmingham, a little place called Preco, Alabama. In 1985, July, and I woke up that morning and didn't have a care in the world. And I goes outside. I just happened to look up, and there stood two white gentlemen that I never seen before. And they said, "We have a warrant for your arrest." And I said, "For what?" And one of them replied, "We'll tell you that later, but right now we want you to put your hands behind your back." I showed my mother the handcuff, and like any good mother, she began to scream and holler, "What are those handcuffs doing on my baby?" And on our way to the county jail, I asked the detective, "Why am I being arrested?" I must have asked the detective at least 50 times, "Why am I being arrested?" And finally, on the 51st time, he said, "We're going to charge you with first-degree robbery, first-degree kidnap, first-degree attempted murder." I said, "But I haven't done any of that. You got the wrong person." He said, "Let me tell you something right now. I don't care whether you did it or didn't do it." He said, "But I'm going to make sure you found guilty of it." I said, "For a crime I didn't commit?" He said, "You must have a hearing problem. Didn't I tell you I don't care whether you did it or didn't do it?" He said, "There's 5 things that are going to convict you." He said, "Number 1, you're black. Number 2, a white man is going to say you shot him. Whether you shot him or not, I do not care." He said, "Number 3, you're going to have a white prosecutor. Number 4, you're going to have a white judge. And number 5, you're going to have an all-white jury." And he said, "Do you know what that spelled?" And he repeated the word, conviction, 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 conviction. Well, I went to trial and they convicted me on 2 counts of first-degree capital murder. And on December 17, 1986, I went to Alabama death row, where I would remain for the next 30 years of my life. And I was so angry with God, and I was so angry with everything that went on with this case, that I decided that I wasn't going to talk to anybody. Going into the 4th year, I woke up to the sound of a grown man crying. I got out of my bed and I went up to the bars and I said, "Sir, do you need me to call and get the officer back here?" He said, "No, I just got word my mother died." And when he told me that, my heart just broke. I realized that my mother was still alive, and I realized that I was still alive. And I realized for the last 3 years, I had gave the state of Alabama more than I intended to give them. And I had gave them my joy. The day that I shook Bryan Stevenson's hand, I knew that God had sent me his best lawyer. I said, "Mr. Stevenson, if no 2 guns is alike, I know that the state of Alabama is telling a lie." I said, "Mr. Stevenson, I need you to hire a ballistic expert. I need you to hire a white man." And I said, "It definitely cannot be a person of color." 3 months later, he informed me that he found 3 other world-renowned experts. Each one of them tested the gun, told Mr. Stevenson that the state of Alabama had made a mistake. On April the 3rd, 2015, I walked out the Jefferson County Jail for the first time to freedom in 30 years. And it was like bittersweet, for I had wanted my mother to be there, and she just didn't survive that long. And I felt cheated, but I also was thankful that Bryan Stevenson stayed with me through it all for 16 long years. My name is Anthony Ray Hinton, and this is my brief but spectacular take on claiming my life back.